You guys should let me know in the comments below, should I paint my strut brace red or leave it black? What's up everyone? I have been missing for a little while, but it's time to get back to modifying all the vehicles. So what I've got going today, I have been thinking about doing this for a while. I've had some issues with the antenna because I had one of those little stubby antennas on it and they keep breaking, so kind of got sick of that. So I just pulled it off and I've just been running it like that for a while. But now the actual base, the seal around it is starting to peel back. So I think it is time to finally get this done. So I kind of want to shave it. In the future, what I might do is actually weld it in when I'm actually going to paint it. For right now, I don't want to get into painting the car. I just want to get rid of it, make it look a little bit better. I did pick up some of this carbon fiber sheet. So it is really thin. I don't remember the exact measurement on it, but very thin, and it does have some flex to it. So it should mold to the roof really well. I guess we'll see. So there isn't any flex this way. If you guys know anything about carbon fiber, there is one direction that it will flex and the other way it will not. And I've got some of this Permatech epoxy to hold it on there. So hopefully this goes as well as I hope it does. So you guys probably saw a little bit in the thumbnail, and obviously the trunk is popped, but I wanted to let you guys see the seal is peeling back right there. And for right now, it is still watertight, but I don't know how long that will last. We'll get this thing off of here and make sure that it stays nice and watertight. We do need to lower down the headliner a little bit so we can get to the bolt that actually attaches on the bottom side of that mount. So I will start by getting those plastics out of the way and see how far we can drop this down, get some access there. You guys do need to remove these little plastic side covers. So you're gonna have a little block off plate thing. It just says airbag on it. Stick a screwdriver or something small in there that you can pry it out. Just pop it right out of there. Underneath those covers is a small Torx. I will go grab my Torx. I'll let you guys know exactly what size it is, just in case you need to know. We'll get those out and we'll get both of these pulled down. So it looks like they are a T20 Torx. So we'll throw this on the impact driver, get those out real quick. So after you get that Torx out of there, this is these little plastic poppers that hold the whole piece in. Just get your hand behind it, give it a tug. I think you guys can see from there. So if you look right, hold on, we'll find it right there. You can see the grab handle. I think those are gonna hold the headliner in a little bit too much, so I don't wanna damage the headliner by pulling down on it with those still there. So I'm going to release both of those, which is probably just gonna be the same Torx. I'll let you guys know in a minute. So it was a couple of Torx holding those on, and you guys see, so it's got these plastic covers, and same thing, just grab a flathead or something, just pop those out of the way. You get your little Torx underneath there, same size as the back one was. We got this one off, jump over to the other side and get that one off. So I was able to reach up in there with a 19mm socket, and it's actually just finger tight. So I had my ratchet, but I actually really didn't need it. So I reached up in there, I felt it actually moved slightly, so I just pulled it out with my fingers. I'll let you guys see that bracket and everything when I actually get it out of there, so you guys can see what I had to do. So here's that bracket that holds it all in. It's just got this nut that's attached to this bracket. Undo that, and then it's loose. Now I got to deal with wires, getting all those disconnected. You saw I did do the ones up top, but it looks like there are two more that may have a harness down here. Guess we'll see in a second. And they do. So the two wires come down. I don't know if you can see that connector there. Looks like you can. So they are connectors right there. So I will disconnect those so we can pull this antenna off top. Gasket on this thing, if you guys have seen, is just completely deteriorating. It's all over my hands. It's falling apart as I touch it. So really good thing we did this. This hole is actually a lot smaller than I expected it to be. I thought the hole was going to be much larger, which is a good thing for covering it up. It's not going to be nearly as large of a thing, but it is really dirty where this used to be. So I'm going to carefully clean this dirt off of here. Being black, it's probably going to leave some scratches, but I already need to do some paint correction on this roof. I will show you guys in the near future. I'm not a professional detailer by any means, but I do want to do some paint correction on it and let you guys see how to kind of DIY some paint correction. So we'll get this thing cleaned up, get some of this goo off of here, and go from there. So it looks a lot better now that that's all cleaned up, but you can see the line of where it used to be. So I'm gonna grab just some scratch and swirl remover, rubbing compound, whatever you want to call it. I'm just gonna get some of that in a microfiber. Just do it by hand. I'm not going crazy here. I'm not really trying to buff this up. I just want to make sure that that's less visible. So I have a bottle of this Meguiar's Ultra Cut compound that should do the job pretty well. Definitely not perfect, but it is far less visible, and when I get around to actually buffing this out, I think I'll be able to take care of it. So to cover this up, I was intentionally thinking that I would do an oval because I thought it was an oval hole underneath here. Now that I can actually see it, I'll probably just do a rectangle, and there is a little bit of damage on the clear coat here, so I think I will go about 2 inches wide, probably about 2.5 inches long, to make sure I've got good coverage of that whole area. And that'll also make sure that I cover up the little bit of damage on the clear coat, so it's not, for one, ugly, and for two, it doesn't hopefully get any worse than that. So I marked out the carbon fiber with a 2 by 2.5 inch square, and I am compensating slightly for the blade width, because I don't want to cut off too much and then it'd be too small. So I do have about the width of the blade compensated for on here. I do have a Dremel somewhere, but I'm not entirely sure where it is. I know where I used it last, but it's not there. So I will probably use my angle grinder and just be really careful. I'll use the angle grinder with a cutoff wheel, obviously, but I'll just be really careful with cutting it, and we should be all good. That actually cut surprisingly well. I mean, it should. It's an angle grinder and it's carbon fiber, so it definitely didn't have an issue cutting it, but I was worried about it maybe splintering or doing something weird, but looks pretty good. I am going to take some 2000 grit sandpaper and just kind of smooth the edge, make sure that it looks nice, probably round off those corners a little bit, and we'll be good to try and get it on there. So I rounded those edges out, and I don't know if you guys can see that, but I did put, I don't know if it'll focus on it. Let me get out of the picture, maybe it'll focus on it. Kind of. So I did put a slightly chamfered edge on it, so it's not such a hard edge. I don't think that really matters, just think it'll look a little better if it's got the softer edge there. gonna grab some wax and grease remover, get this thing cleaned off. I already did clean that, but I want to make sure that none of the compound is an issue. It shouldn't be, but I want to make sure none of that compound causes any issues with this adhering. So we'll wipe that down with some wax and grease remover also, and then we should be good to get some epoxy on there, get this piece on. I did also lightly scuff the back surface of this and the mounting surface on the roof because I want to help with some mechanical adhesion as well. So actually give that epoxy something to grab onto. We got way more than we're actually going to need here, but we'll get it mixed together, make sure that it's all good to go, and then I'll probably use this paintbrush to actually apply it. That way it's kind of exactly where I want it to be. We'll see if that works out. Cleaned up the epoxy around the edge. Looks like there's a little bit more back here I need to clean up, but it's sitting pretty flush. After I get it all finished, cleaned up, I think it'll look a little better, but I'm pretty happy with it. And we got rid of that gross antenna. Now we got to get all the interior put back together. That'll be good to go. That's it, guys. Got the interior all put back together. Have that antenna that was really gross and deteriorating is now gone, and we got it all covered back up. Hopefully it's sealed properly. It should be, because as you guys saw, I did put adhesive around both the holes and then also put some adhesive around the perimeter of the actual carbon fiber plate. So we should be all good. Hopefully you don't get any water in there. I guess the first time I wash it or it rains, we'll find out, but I'm pretty sure I'll be just fine. Hopefully you guys liked the video. Hopefully it was helpful for any of you guys that maybe even want to do this yourself or just need to replace your antenna. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and we will see you guys very soon.